Imagine starting your day not with dread or exhaustion, but with a brain that feels alive, balanced, and fully switched on. What if the true secret weapon for mental sharpness and steady moods has been hiding in plain sight on grocery store shelves and kitchen counters? The next time you're tempted to reach for yet another cup of coffee or scroll through lists of supplements, picture instead the powerful impact a single meal can have on your mind. We're unraveling the idea that food is just fuel, because it's so much more than that. Every bite you take sends a cascade of messages to your brain, shaping not just your energy and waistline, but even your emotions, your ability to handle stress, and your overall sense of well-being. Now, decades of scientific breakthroughs are connecting the dots between our plates and our moods in ways that are surprising, actionable, and, for some, even life-changing. First, let's get straight to the chemical reality of our minds. The brain is one of our body's hungriest organs. It consumes over 20% of our daily energy. But not all calories are treated equally. Neurons, the messengers of the brain, rely on special ingredients to work optimally. These ingredients come directly from your diet. When we talk about neurotransmitters, those chemical signals that modulate everything from happiness to anxiety, it's easy to overlook that these molecules don't appear out of thin air. Instead, they are painstakingly crafted from the nutrients we supply. Consider serotonin, often nicknamed the happiness molecule. You might have heard that serotonin is made in the brain, but did you know that over 95% of your body's serotonin is produced in your gut? And to make serotonin, your body depends on the amino acid tryptophan. Foods rich in tryptophan, like turkey, eggs, cheese, tofu, and nuts, serve as the raw material for this vital neurotransmitter. If you skimp on these sources, it's not merely a nutritional issue. You literally hamper your brain's ability to keep your mood balanced and anxiety in check. Next, look at omega-3 fatty acids, especially the form called DHA found in fatty fish, such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, and plant-based sources like walnuts and chia seeds. Far from being simply good fats, omega-3s are built into the very architecture of your brain cells. They allow cells to communicate, repair, and defend against inflammation, a hidden villain behind many cases of low mood and even depression. Research has repeatedly shown that societies with higher omega-3 intake tend to have lower rates of clinical depression. Lacking them, our brain's walls literally weaken. Memory, learning, and emotional regulation start to falter. But nutrition for the mind doesn't stop at proteins and fats. The intricate relationship between gut health and the brain, known as the gut-brain axis, is an exploding area of study. Your digestive system teems with trillions of bacteria, collectively called the microbiome, which interact with your immune system, hormones, and the nervous system. These gut microbes play a lead role in producing not only nutrients like certain B vitamins, but also key neurotransmitters. If you've ever felt butterflies before a big event or had a gut feeling about something, you've experienced this axis in action. When your gut is out of balance, say after a binge of ultra-processed foods or antibiotics, inflammation can spike, communication with the brain gets scrambled, and symptoms like anxiety and brain fog can quickly creep in. Let's pause and bring in expert voices. Dr. Drew Ramsey, a leading psychiatric doctor, puts it succinctly. Mental health begins with brain health, and brain health begins with food. It's not just the avoidance of bad food. It's about feeding your brain exactly what it craves. In his clinical experience, patients who add more leafy greens, brightly colored vegetables, and seafood to their diets often report not just improved mood, but sharper thinking and better sleep. Another game-changing study, led by nutritional psychiatrist Felice Jacka, put these ideas to the test. Her team took people struggling with moderate to severe depression and invited half of them to shift from a heavily processed Western diet to a Mediterranean pattern, richer in vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, extra virgin olive oil, and plenty of fish. In just 3 months, those following this meal plan not only felt better, but nearly a third actually achieved full remission of their depressive symptoms without changing their medications or adding anything else. But what about the flip side? What's making things worse for millions, often without them knowing? It turns out there are foods so commonly accepted in modern diets that their effect on mental health is often overlooked or underestimated. The prime suspect: ultra-processed foods laden with refined sugars, artificial additives, and trans fats. Studies now reveal that diets high in such foods aren't just bad for your waistline. They can lead to inflammation crossing the blood-brain barrier, triggering symptoms of anxiety, sadness, and even impulsive or aggressive behavior. The ever-popular comfort foods, think sugary cereals, pastries, sodas, and fast food, can create an initial short-lived boost in feel-good chemicals. But this is swiftly followed by a crash, worsened insulin resistance, and overstimulation of stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, people caught in this loop may find their motivation, focus, and resilience drained day by day. What's especially eye-opening, young people and children seem particularly vulnerable to these effects. Epidemiological studies indicate that as diets have trended towards more processed options, rates of adolescent anxiety, depression, and even suicidal ideation have crept steadily upwards. The American Psychiatric Association now lists diet quality as a major risk factor for mental health, as crucial as sleep, exercise, and social connections. So what can you do today to start transforming your nutrition into a mental well-being powerhouse? It starts with awareness and intention. The first step isn't to obsessively count calories or chase the latest superfood. Instead, pay attention to food quality, variety, and freshness. Focus on these foundational shifts. Start your breakfast with foods rich in quality proteins and healthy fats. Think Greek yogurt with berries and walnuts, scrambled eggs with spinach, or a smoothie packed with leafy greens and flax seeds. This primes your brain with a steady supply of amino acids and crucial omega-3s for the day ahead. Add fermented foods to your routine. Live yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, or miso deliver probiotics that nurture your gut-brain. Even a few forkfuls a day can make a difference in populating your microbiome with bacteria linked to lower anxiety and more stable moods. Favor complex carbohydrates over refined ones. Whole grains like oats, quinoa, and brown rice digest slowly, delivering a sustained release of energy and preventing those dreaded mood crashes often triggered by blood sugar spikes from white bread, pastries, or soda. Make color your guide. Aim for a rainbow of fruits and vegetables. The pigments that give berries, kale, carrots, and beets their vibrant hues come packed with antioxidants that quench inflammation, support neuroplasticity, and shield your brain from toxic stress. Don't underestimate the power of hydration. Dehydration, even mild, is a surprisingly common cause of fatigue and foggy thinking. Make water or herbal teas your first choice and steer clear of excess caffeine and sugar-laden drinks. But what about cravings or comfort eating? These urges often surge under stress or loneliness, and there's a biological basis for that. Processed snacks and sweets hijack our reward systems, offering quick, but fleeting pleasures. Instead, try reaching for snacks that combine fiber, protein, and healthy fats. A handful of nuts and fruit, veggie sticks with hummus, or apple slices spread with almond butter. When it comes to supplements, proceed with caution and always consult your healthcare provider. While some people benefit from targeted nutrients like vitamin D, magnesium, or B vitamins, there's no pill that can replace the symphony of nutrients in real, whole food. If you're worried about the expense or time commitment, remember this: some of the most nutrient-dense foods are surprisingly affordable and easy to prepare. Canned sardines, frozen berries, dried beans, oats, lentils, and bulk greens cost much less than most packaged foods and can be transformed into delicious, satisfying meals. For those still skeptical, the science keeps building. Controlled studies have shown that even short periods, as little as 2 weeks, of eating healthier can lead to measurable improvements in mood, energy, and focus. The change doesn't have to happen all at once. Start where you can. Swap one meal, add an extra serving of veggies, try a new whole grain. Notice the impact on how you feel, both mentally and physically. Keep in mind, there's no one-size-fits-all plan. Factors like genetics, age, activity levels, and underlying medical conditions all play a role in how your brain responds to dietary changes. Listen to your body, experiment, and don't be afraid to seek professional guidance. Let's revisit the key question: how can you tell if what you're eating is supporting your mental health? Signs to watch for include not just your mood, but also your ability to focus, how quickly you recover from stress, your sleep quality, motivation, and ultimately, your sense of hopefulness about the future. Food is not a cure-all. And, in some cases, professional mental health support, therapy, and medication are absolutely essential. But what you eat can dramatically tilt the odds in your favor, offering a foundation for resilience and recovery. This is not about chasing perfect health, strict diets, or shaming yourself for moments of indulgence. It's about building a relationship with food that is nourishing, supportive, and shame-free. Imagine a life where your meals become moments of healing rather than sources of guilt or stress. Picture yourself preparing a vibrant salad and knowing it's not just providing calories, but nurturing the living system that keeps you calm, clear, and capable. Envision a snack that lifts your mood, sustains your energy, and even makes you more emotionally adaptable. The fork in your hand is a powerful tool, every choice writing the next chapter in your mental health story. You now know some of the key foods to seek, the unexpected pitfalls to avoid, and the subtle but undeniable way diet shapes the very chemistry of your mind. The science of mental health nutrition is still evolving, but one thing is clear: you hold more power than you think. The silent signals from your microbiome, the building blocks of neurotransmitters, the anti-inflammatory heroes in produce and fish, they are all waiting to be invited to your table. So the next time you find yourself reaching for comfort food, pausing at the grocery aisle, or planning your next meal, remember, the decision you make isn't just about flavor or fullness. It's an act of self-care that can echo through every area of your life. If you're wondering which foods are most damaging, the so-called forbidden foods that science now links to declining mental health, and are hungry for a practical, step-by-step mental health meal plan designed to elevate your mood and focus, there's much more to explore. The journey to a brighter, more stable mind isn't just possible, it's already begun, one meal at a time. Eat with intention, feed your brain well, and let the story of your best mental health begin right here on your plate.